We're going to be talking about another pastime of Prabhupada. This was a personal exchange I had with him. And so it's going to be very interesting, not only the way he instructed me, but his instruction is universally applicable. And it's about depending on Krishna, and it's about humility. And it's very interesting, and it's also about thinking of Krishna 24 hours a day. So I think you're going to like it. I was made temple president at the ripe age of 20. I had been a devotee at that time 8 months. I had joined 8 months earlier. And that was the nature of the movement, that if somebody was enthusiastic, they would say, okay, you're enthusiastic, so here's a temple. But I'm only 20. I've only been a devotee 8 months. No problem, Prabhu. Just depend on Krishna. Krishna will inspire you. Krishna will give you everything. Okay, Prabhupada wants me to do it. Sign me up. I'm ready. So we go up to Vancouver. Vancouver, I was in, at that time, San Francisco. So Vancouver's, 1,200 miles north, 1,400 miles north in Canada. And there I am, and there's 3 brahmacharis, and we're living basically in an industrial building. That is, the heat is centrally controlled. So in the winter, the heat goes off at 6 p.m. and comes back at 8 a.m. So we had very cold nights. We had no vehicle, basically no warm clothes, no money. All we had was one another, and we didn't like one another that much. But we had the holy name and Prabhupada's mercy. So I was confronted with this situation where it was very, very difficult to deal with the devotees. It was very, very difficult to get money, very difficult to do most things. And then when the winter came, I had never even seen snow in my whole life. That was a whole new experience of cold. And of course, the Canadians are saying, oh, come on, Vancouver's not cold. Well, if you come born in Los Angeles, Vancouver is cold. So we decided at one point that we should go on traveling Sankirtan because we heard that Prabhupada said, if you go anywhere to preach, not caring how you live, I'll take the dust from your feet and I'll put it on my head. And we said, we're going. Sign me up for this. I want mercy. So we got in the van, but no, we made sure we didn't bring any money because that way we'd have to totally depend on Krishna. And we went off, and so many amazing things happened, and Krishna took care of us. And we were on television, on radio, we made devotees, we did huge programs. It was amazing. And I was so happy being on the road in that situation. I was so Krishna conscious. When I came back to the temple with having to manage being in one place, thinking about this and that, I didn't feel very Krishna conscious. So I wrote Prabhupada and I said, I'm confused because when we're on the road, there was more time for hearing and chanting and preaching, and I was very Krishna conscious. But here, I'm so busy with this and that, and I'm not so Krishna conscious. So what's more important, being Krishna conscious or getting the service done? Because I felt that if I were going to be Krishna conscious at the temple, I would have to do less. I would have to slow down. I have to take more time for this or that. I have to take more time for the things that would make me Krishna conscious. Okay, that's reasonable, and that is true. But I was taking it to an extent where it wasn't true. I was making it circumstantial. I can only think of Krishna in this situation. So I wrote Prabhupada with my dilemma. I said, so what is better? Is it better to think of Krishna always? Or is it better to just do all this service in spreading the mission even though you're not thinking of Krishna? And Prabhupada wrote me back and he said, the whole point of Krishna consciousness is to think of Krishna. No, I didn't say think of Krishna, to be absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. Absorbed means nothing but Krishna, like a wet sponge, just absorbed with Krishna. And when I heard that, I was like in total shock. I think, absorbed in thoughts of Krishna 24/7? That just seemed to me like another universe, like how to do that. And so when Prabhupada said that, I thought, okay, that's my answer. Then I have to slow down. I have to really, I have to paint a picture of Krishna on my hand so I can see him all the time. And Prabhupada said, but it doesn't mean you do less service. What it means is you become more dependent on Krishna. And by being dependent on Krishna, you'll think of him. So Prabhupada said, you should think that Krishna, please give me intelligence how to run this temple. Please give me intelligence how to take care of the devotees. Because if you don't give me that intelligence, everyone will leave and the whole project will fall apart. So he said, in this way, if you think, I am not qualified to do this, Krishna, you must give me the qualification. He said, that way you'll always think of Krishna. And at that time, I didn't realize it, but Prabhupada was just defining humility, because humility means I'm always dependent on Krishna, thinking I can't do it myself. I need his inspiration. I need his intelligence. I need his guidance. I just need him to be able to do it. So here's the solution. How do you think of Krishna 24/7? Stop doing all your service and just sit in your room and read? No, that's not what Prabhupada said. Feel yourself unqualified for whatever it is. Even if you think you are qualified, feel yourself unqualified, because none of us are qualified. Feel yourself unqualified. Pray to Krishna. Krishna, if you don't give me the qualification, the intelligence, the inspiration, I'm going to make a mess of this. Please give me the qualification. Please guide me. Please help me. He said, in this way, you'll think of Krishna all the time, feeling helpless. So the message from the message is humility. This is humility, that I never feel qualified, I always feel unqualified, and I need the qualification from Krishna. I'm depending on Krishna, and Krishna will give me intelligence, ability, inspiration. And in that way, in praying to him to give me these things, I'm always thinking of him. How simple is that? Humility, you'll think of Krishna. Arrogance, pride, you'll forget Krishna. I'll do it myself. I'm powerful. I'm the man. I can do it. I don't need anyone's help. I'm so smart. I'm so qualified. I am so good. I am so talented. Yeah, and then in that consciousness, we'll completely forget Krishna. Hare Krishna.